Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are talking AFK Journey, which is now in pre-registration, and we have a speculated release date for it. Just keep in mind, this is a speculated release date because it is over on the Apple Store, what Apple is showing. Now, I believe the way it works is when games put themselves into like that pre-registration phase on the Apple Store, they have to give Apple a date, and I believe, and don't quote me on this, I believe that they have to like pay to change that date. So sometimes games will not launch on the date listed here. Sometimes they'll go earlier, sometimes they'll go later, but this is like my ballpark rough estimate of kind of time that we may get a release of it, and that is March 27th, 2024, so about 2.5 months away. Now, once again, I will update you guys if they do an official announcement, because this is not an official announcement, but that's the best we've got to go on so far, and this is what's going to spark me into playing the game more actively. I'm going to start on a fresh server, because on the PTR build, which I'll talk about builds of the game in a sec, but they introduced more servers, so I'm going to start on a fresh server to really grind through the early game and see what the experience is like. However, the PTR build that people have had access to is not the same as the last beta they had, which is going to be interesting as well. So we'll have to wait and see. I'll talk a bit more about that in a sec. But now, if you want to, we've got this announcement over here. So the official pre-registration announcement, and then we've got the pre-registration rewards, which is a Leica, 10 summons, and 1,000 diamonds. Honestly, decent pre-registration. Pretty happy with that. Leica's a decent unit, and some free clothing, which I don't really stress too much about. But hey, if you're into that thing, you get that. Log in to collect within 60 days of after the open beta. Now, open beta is I believe what they're going to call the actual release of the game. It's always hazy. Every game refers to different terms for different things, so but I'm tipping after the game releases, you got 60 days to start your account and get that. And as always with every game, these go out to every account. I'd be gobsmacked if they did anything different, but normally these things just go out to every account. You don't have to be linked to a pre-registration to get these rewards. It's just on every guest account normally. Moving on past that, if you want to pre-register, it is on the Apple Store and the Google Play Store, or you can come here and you can pre-register through the website and just enter your platform and stuff like that. So that is your other option. But the other thing is, if you do want to start looking at some of the characters, because I'll take a second here and talk about some of the build, like the builds they've got. So for those that don't know the way AFK Journey worked, they released like a kind of like beta that had limited period for people to get in, and if you got in, you've been able to keep playing this whole time. However, if you didn't get in that period, you can't create an account. So that's the weird thing they've got. And then what I believe is that's going to be like their quote unquote test server once the game launches. And don't quote me on this. If I get any official info on it, I will let you guys know. But my understanding is that will become like the test server. And then the main server will be the new one that launches at global. But keep in mind, it is an idle game. So when we look at like AFK Arena and most idle games, if we go over here, we go to character switch, you can see we've got different servers. So you can see down here, this is my original server from the first server, and then I've just created this new character on the server 6. So the thing that I like about this is it doesn't matter when you start, you're going to have some sort of competitiveness with the people that you're playing against. So I think it's actually a good thing anyway. But just so you know, there will be like this server, this actual like game version that I'm on, which I believe will be the test game, and then there'll be the full global launch game. Because the other thing is, because this shit gets confusing, is that about a month or two ago, they had another closed beta test, which was a closed beta test with a wipe. And that was a complete, because I started on this fresh server to see if they've implemented any of that stuff in here, and they haven't. So the closed beta test that we had a month ago, which I'm anticipating they may have another one of those in the next couple, like before the release, it was a completely different storyline. It was a completely different experience. The growth of your characters was like way more efficient because of the stuff you were getting. So it was a completely different experience. So even playing through this build, the actual global build that we get, I think is going to be very different to even what I'm playing right now on this, what they call the PTR build, which is a no wipe test server that once again will be like their test version for the game. I believe, once again, I will let you guys know when we get more info, but it's been completely confusing the way they've done it. Now, because it's limited access, you can't get into this anymore. If you do want to take a look at this stuff, you can jump over to Pridewin. I'll leave a link to this in the description, and they've started filling out a database for the game. It's not complete yet. It is still very early stages of developing. But if you want to take a look at some of the characters in the game, because you can't obviously download the game and play it, you can get in here. I think they've only done, I believe they've only done the S level characters. They haven't done like the lower tier characters, but they will be filling this out over the next period before the release. So you can check out some of the characters. You can check out their abilities. Let's go to Brutus, because, you know, fan favorite Brutus. And they've introduced some cool stuff that I do like. So you've got this enhancement, which is like every character has a skill that can get an enhancement once I believe you get to legendary or legendary plus it is, and then you're going to get that. But then we've also got the EX skills, which is like your signature items. So there is a bunch of different progression features in your characters. And like I said, you can come over here and you can start reading through some characters if you like. Just keep in mind, this one is more grid based. So like they even include thing like the auto attack range is 1, because ranged attackers are going to have different ranges on how far they can shoot and stuff like that. So we got all that stuff. But once again, you can jump over to Pride Win there and you can start taking a look at some of the characters if you are interested in starting to look at stuff, but you can't get into the game. But over here, I wanted to quickly look at some of the quality of life stuff that they've added in recent updates, which is stuff that I've actually been asking for, and I'm really impressed. As you can see what I just did there, I just walked over to that pile of dust and it auto collects it for you. So the chests, you still have to click on the chests to open them. Same with the berries if you want to collect the berries, but all these things, you just walk into them and it auto collects. Honestly, a really, really nice feature. I like that sort of thing. That was like, it was so tedious because there's so many of these berries around the place and you had to consistently just like tap F every time you wanted to collect something, and it was just absolutely frustrating. So that is a good quality of life. The other quality of life here is, unfortunately, it appears to be broken on the PC client, because that's what I'm on here, but on my phone it works, and this was one of the big things for me. So if we look over here, we've got this quest mark here. Now, what I've always wanted was to be able to click this and for it to auto path, and it actually does that now on the mobile version. Unfortunately, the PC version, I guess they needed to run some optimization, because the only way you could do that previously on the PC version was by clicking the map, clicking here, and then clicking the boots, and then it would path you. But like I said, now on the mobile version, at least, I guess the PC one's a bit clunky and they've got to optimize it a bit more. But on the mobile one, you can click this and it auto paths. It makes it a lot simpler, because even though it does have the world to explore, some people don't enjoy doing that stuff. Me personally, because I've played through the early game of it that many times, like I just had no interest in like running around to try and get places. I just wanted to get to the exact locations I needed to get to, and having that button is just so much better quality of life compared to having to open up the map, go here and click that, or manually running there yourself. So I think that's some pretty good quality of life. They have made a bunch of new changes since I last did an update on it, and I'll probably do another video in the next couple of days going through some of this stuff. But like today, I just wanted to get through some of the basics, the release date, speculation anyway, the pre-registration and all that sort of stuff. But they have been putting a lot of development into the game, which I am very happy with, and I'm glad to see that they have been taking feedback from both the PTR, which is this build, and also the previous closed beta that they run. And that previous closed beta, it was a lot more generous and felt a lot more fluid in playing the game, and it had a different story that was completely voiced and all that stuff, which was absolutely fantastic. So I'm thinking the global version of the game is going to be presented way better than this PTR version, and we'll have to see when they transfer and start making those changes in this PTR version and stuff like that, which I'm honestly still not too sure on at the moment. But in general, I think it's looking promising for the game at the moment, and yeah, it's all looking pretty good, and I'm happy with the direction they're taking it at the moment. But I'll definitely keep you guys updated. Like I said, I'm probably going to start playing the game more seriously now that it is in pre-registration. And even if that's not the exact release date that we've got, which is still stated on Apple as March 27th, even if that's not the actual release date, we know it's within, some sort of window of release. So this is where I'm going to start ramping up, playing the game again, getting my knowledge up so that we are ready for the global launch. But anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this one. As always, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.